Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a cooking tutorial. So I've been sharing a lot of my recipes on my Insta stories and I've gotten a lot of great feedback from you guys, and this is the most requested video to make, and it's the caldo de queso. This is my Nana's caldo de queso recipe, and she is a really good cook. I'm very excited to be starting off with this particular recipe. But it did take me a while because in my family we don't actually like have recipes. We just put it all together. It's like it has a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so we just put it all together. I had to narrow things down and actually count stuff out for you guys, so that's what took me a while to get all the ingredients just right. So I was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't have a recipe. People would always ask me like, what's the recipe, what's the recipe? But we don't cook like that. I mean, is that just my family or what? But I literally call my dad up and say, hey dad, how do you make this? And he's just like, you put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you do this first, and there's no actual recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the ingredients. I got 4 ANAHEIM chiles, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert photos as well. Like I said, I already did this on Insta stories and I took really nice videos, so I'll insert those here too. Get 4 of those. I usually do about 2 tomatoes. I might just do 1 because these are actually big, but we'll see right now. But 2 Roma tomatoes, 2 potatoes. Again, I might do a little bit more depending on how much it looks like when I cut them. These recipes are totally customizable, you guys. So like, if you don't really like a lot of potato, you could put a little bit of less. I mean, it's not gonna change the flavor all that much. So don't be worried if you don't get it exact. And then I do 1/4 of an onion. I get the really big ones, so I just need about 1/4 of it. 1 clove of garlic. You're gonna need some chicken bouillon, a can of evaporated milk. If you can get the smaller can, definitely get that because I'm not gonna use all of this. Probably gonna use about half. And then I am going to use Monterey Jack cheese. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to toast up or roast your peppers. So I just do that on an open flame. So you can see I'm just charring them. You just wanna keep flipping them and just watch them. You wanna cook the outside. When they get like this one here, this one is perfect. See how it's charred all over? You just want to put it in a plastic bag. And then just want to seal it. And that's going to steam. So you just want it to steam up. It's going to make the outside skin soft. Now that the chiles are done, now we're just going to prep all our ingredients. Right here, I'm just chopping up all of my onion into small little cubes. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my tomatoes. I'm just dicing them. I like my tomatoes to be pretty chunky because I like getting big bites of it while I eat my soup. So that was actually a really big tomato. I'm only going to use 1. You can see it's like about a cup. But like I said, if you like tomato, you can add more. For the potatoes, I like to cut them in half. I'll take that off. And then I'll cut them in half again. And then again. And then from here, I'll just do strips. You want to make sure that you cut these all the same size. So when you're doing the strips like this, you want to make sure that you're doing exact same size all the way through, because you want them to cook all at the same time. You don't want to have some that are overcooked, some undercooked. So make sure that these are all cut equally. And then of course you want to peel your garlic. Set that aside. And then for cheese, it's really up to you. I love the cheese, so I usually put a lot. And I just like to cut it in really thin slivers like that, just so you get these really delicious little pockets of cheese within the soup. I used to do little cubes, but it's not as good as these little like slivers. I actually prefer this because you get like a long string of cheese in your soup. This is a really good soup if you're a vegetarian. It's super tasty. And the chile, the combination of the chile, the cheese, the potatoes is just so delicious. Okay, now that we cut up all the ingredients, I'm gonna start cooking it up. I have it on medium-high heat. And I'm just gonna add a few tablespoons of vegetable oil. Gonna let it get hot. And then the first thing I wanna add are the potatoes. So I have about this much. And then you want to just cook up these potatoes until they start to crystallize. You're going to start to notice that they get a little bit transparent. Sometimes they do stick to the pan. That's why I like to keep it moving. And if you hear that sound, I got water boiling over here on my kettle, my electric kettle. I have about 7 cups of water. Okay, so they're starting to get a little transparent. Now I'm gonna add my onion. This is when it starts to smell really good. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my tomato. So you just want to cook all the vegetables for about 3 minutes or so, just so all the flavors can come out. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the water. So like I said, that was about 7 cups of water. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon. And then I am going to reduce the heat. And I'm just going to cover it and let it boil. So right now I'm just going to wait for the potatoes to cook. While my potatoes are cooking, I'm going to move on to the chiles. So by now they're all soft and they're cooked. All I'm going to do now is remove all of the skin, and it should just come right off. This is the part that takes a while, and I do it by the sink because I like to take off the top and remove all the seeds. And so I'm just going to put the water on and clean it. So make sure all the skin's off, because it's really sticky. That's why you need to do it under running water so all the pieces can come off. And then you're just left with the skin. So just like that. So you just want to do that to all of your chiles. Okay, now that we took off all of the skin, you're just going to shred them. You can definitely cut these if you want to. You don't have to do it by hand, but I'm doing it by hand today because they're just falling apart by themselves. So you do want to be careful though. If you're not used to handling chile, it could burn your hands, so you could use gloves, but I'm used to it, so it's not a big deal. See how it's just coming apart? So you can make them as thick or as thin as you want, and this is what adds all that good flavor in the soup. It helps if you cook them really good. See, this part right here is not cooked all the way through, so it's a little bit tough. So when you have them on the open flame, just be patient and make sure that you are cooking them as well. Like this one, I could have cooked a little bit more. See how it's still kind of bright green? So now that I finished with the chiles, I'm gonna go ahead and just taste this. Right about now, you can try it to see if you need a little bit more seasoning. I actually like my stuff pretty flavorful, so sometimes I do add more. You always want to taste your food, you guys, anyway. So see, yeah, I think I want to add a little bit more, just a little bit, because the cheese is salty. So I'll do like 2.5, and I think that's good. So 2.5 tablespoons of chicken bouillon. And then with the chile, I'm just going to pop that in. And then right now, the potatoes are looking pretty good. They're just about cooked. Right now, I'm going to add the evaporated milk. And so this is, how many ounces is this? This is 12 ounces. I'm probably just going to use half of this. So about 6 ounces. And that's going to give it that really nice color. So you can see it's starting to look super good. It's coming together. I'm going to give it a taste one more time to make sure that it has enough seasoning. Rinse off your spoon, you guys. Don't double dip. You also want to try it again once you put the evaporated milk, because it does change the flavor a little bit. That's perfect. So it's tasting really good. The potatoes are practically all the way cooked through. I'm just gonna let it cook for about 5 minutes just so all the flavors could come together. And at the very end, I'm gonna put the cheese. That's the final ingredient and one of the most important ones. Okay, so very important, before you put the cheese in, turn off your heat. So make sure it's all the way off before you start adding the cheese, because otherwise it's gonna curdle. Okay. Now I'm gonna slowly add in the cheese. And then I'm gonna give it a stir and then add some more. Just so it's really incorporated in the entire soup. And just give it like a little stir just to move that cheese that we just put on the top, kind of move it out of the way. Oop. Like, you just want to do it very gentle. So the cheese, you get little pockets of cheese. And that's it. You just let the cheese melt and then you can serve it. So of course I have to try it, of course, right? That's what everybody does when they're cooking. So let me try to get a piece of cheese, a piece of chile. The only thing about this soup is that it smells so good and you just want to eat it up, but the potatoes are super hot, so you have to be careful. That's so good. It's hot today, but I'm still gonna eat this so comfortably. Ooh, my potato's hot. So that is it for this recipe. I hope you guys try it out. Please send me photos if you do. My Instagram is @Jessin Reyes. I love seeing your guys' recreations. I got so many photos when I first uploaded this on my Insta stories. I got so many photos of you guys actually making it and trying it out. And that makes me so happy because, like I said earlier, this is my Nana's recipe, so it's super special. So if you do recreate it, please send me a photo on Instagram. I'll repost it on my stories. I love seeing them. And yeah, let me know what you think. And if you watch my Insta stories, you've seen some of the recipes I've already done. Leave them in the comments below which video you want to see next, and I will get it out to you guys. I plan on doing my dad's famous Mexican rice, which is so good. So yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you try this recipe, and thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.